Have you been conditioned to look for the negative in everything in your day-to-day life? Hi, I'm Marie McGrath, founder of Restore Balance and Harmony and Women's Breakthrough Transformologist. Today I'm talking about negative news and how that affects our life, how it has changed over time. So I have a few facts and figures because I've been reading a few things, so I will look at some notes as we go. But I wanted to start off by saying that, back in the day, back when I was a kid, the only time we would see the news was once a day, 6 o'clock news. Dad would turn the TV on, it's news time, kids be quiet or go to your room. It was once a day. Nowadays, we have so many ways of hearing what's going on in the world. We have the TV, there's news in the morning, there's news at midday, there's 3 different news cycles at night time. And then you have your mobile phones, we have apps, there's radio, you're in the car, it's just absolutely everywhere. Now, it wouldn't be such a bad thing to keep up with world events if it wasn't always so negative. The news put the more negative, the more cycle it gets, the more airtime that it gets, the more attention that it gets. And we are taking in all of this negative stuff all the time. So I looked at this study and it was talking about back in the 1950s, Time magazine, obviously I think everyone's heard of Time magazine, it had 90% of its content was positive. But then over time, they realised, they started adding, world events, a bit of negative happened and a bit of negative and a bit more, and all of a sudden they were selling more magazines. Negative headings were selling more. So, therefore, they filled the magazine with more negative than positive. It's ended up about 70% negative now instead of 90% positive. Now, I know if you walk into a newsagent's, even the Women's Day and those kind of magazines, they will have headlines, this person's breaking up or that happened or this happened. And it's the negative headings that actually grab the attention. Talking on internet, negative headlines have a 63% better click-through rate than a positive heading. So if you see my marketing change, you know what? I might go the negative to try and get, people to click through. But that's not the point of this video. I wanted to talk about how this affects us. Okay. Instead of us, looking to be positive and to be looking for things, reading things and doing things and feeling a positive way, we're influenced by all that is coming in. Okay, now UCLA in America did a study, and there's probably 1,000 others that have, but we have about 70,000 thoughts a day. Now, 80% of these thoughts are negative. And probably about 70 to 80% of our thoughts come through tomorrow. They are carried through and they just go over and over and over and over with new ones added in each day. But the majority, if you think, you're worried about the bill, a gas bill, it's a huge amount of money. Okay, you thinking that I can't afford it. And that emotion, that thought goes every single day until that bill is paid. And then, what am I going to do next month? And you keep on thinking. And, we carry our thoughts through every day. They're regurgitating, going over and over and over and over again. And they go through our individual filters. Each single one of us have different filters, different perceptions. So everything that's coming in is going through our filter and then getting to be this massive, great big noise in our head. So what can we do to try and block out this negative, try and release some or not take so much in? One thing is to cut back on listening to the news, reading the paper. If you're scrolling through Facebook, you don't see a negative heading, don't click on it. Just scroll past. Maybe block some. If you've always got constantly advertising for negative stuff, block it. Tell Facebook you don't want it anymore. Have a complete detox of outside influences, like the wider world. I know it's harder, to block out, the closer world that we have, but you can block out the larger world. And another thing that I know makes a huge effect, has a huge effect, is when we read, as a pastime, as a relaxation. Some people, they read books. Some read personal development, some read biographies, some read fiction, and most of them are a great way to relax. But if you are reading personal biographies of a traumatic experience, I had a friend who told me, oh my God, I'm so stressed, I'm so worried about my kids. Well, what's going on? What did you do? What's happened? She said, I read this book, it was about this woman. She was kidnapped when she was like 6 years old, and the whole book is her story. She's like 30 years old now, and she lived in this basement, and she had blah, 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 blah. It was this whole story, and it was horrific. This poor person, had this horrific life. And my friend, she was reading it every single day. She was taking in all of this pain, all of this anxiety, all of this stress, all of this hurt, all of this sadness and empathy for this other person she didn't know. And it's human nature to feel that way and feel sorry for other people. But when we pick up a book that we know is a sad, is a hurtful, or a stressful story, we're actually inviting that in. We're inviting that to take up space in our head, in our heart, in our thoughts that are going to go over and over and over and over and over again. This friend of mine, she had anxiety for, it wasn't major, but it was there. She was freaking out about her. What if that happened to my kids? I could not imagine, I've got, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old girl, oh my God, what happened if it happened to them? And, if she hadn't read that book, she would never have had those thoughts. Okay, if we hadn't been watching the news all the time about, we do need to know a bit about what's going on in the world, but we do have the right to choose what it is we take in, what we allow to affect us, and it does. We are human and we have emotions, and women have more than men. We are emotional beings. We attach ourselves, whether we know the person or not. If we know them, then it's a whole hell of a lot deeper emotion. But we still attach emotion, and then we bring it in and we sit there, and it affects our mind, it affects our heart, it affects our body. Even if it's someone we've never known, we've never met, it could have happened 50 years ago, but we still are holding that emotion, we're taking that negative in. So if you are ready to try and detox, try and keep away. I know we've got stuff in there that you may want to get rid of, but for anything new, stop, make a choice. Stop reading the really sad, the really bad, the really horrific stories. Stop listening to the news. Stop clicking on the negative headlines. Oh my God, this happened, and this is half the time if you were to click on them, it's something completely different than the headline says anyway. And even the ads on TV for the TV shows, they always show the absolute worst possible case, to get you to tune in and watch, whether that's what happened. Is this person going to die? Are they not? Is this person going to be rejected at the altar, or are they not? The negative headlines trying to draw us in. And because we are now so conditioned to be looking for that, we were easily pulled into these things, these tactics of using the negative. So basically today, just, be aware of what these headlines, these stories, these words have on us, okay? You might think that you are just, I'm just sitting back watching TV, but it's actually really having an effect on how you live your life, what you're looking for, how you're perceiving situations when you go out and you're actually talking to your neighbours or your friends or your work colleagues. These negative thoughts, they get stuck. And like I said, they get used over and over and over again. We have 80% negative thoughts and they are being used today, and then they get passed to tomorrow, and they're still there the next day and the next day. If we don't work on, stopping new ones coming in and then dealing with the ones that we do have. Just be aware of what you're taking in. And it really is a good idea to occasionally have a detox and stop listening to the news. Stop clicking or stop buying the headline on the magazine, the negative ones, and stop reading these sad stories where somebody's hurt or someone's rejected or, someone's blown up, whatever it is. And if you're looking to get rid of the painful negative emotions that you do have, then you can reach out to me and we can have a chat about what it might mean to have a creatrix breakthrough or something else. So that's it for today. Have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.